Hey everyone, it's Reed, and I'm back. Yeah, I got some emails from people asking, Reed, what the heck? Haven't heard from you. Nothing's going on. You still alive, man? Well, as you can see, the exaggerations and stories about my death and untimely demise, well, they're exaggerations. Hasn't happened yet. Maybe later, but not today. Not today. I'm still here, still doing stuff. So if you're wondering where the heck I've been exactly, well, I've been buried deep into work. See, we're coming to a close on a project we've been working on for 2 years. And actually, this project shouldn't have taken 2 years. It should have taken like 6 months. But you ever notice that sometimes, a lot of times, companies are like, we just don't feel like we want to do this in-house. No, let's outsource this to contractors. And that's going to save all this money. Yeah, especially when we're talking mission-critical systems. Requires a lot of testing, a lot of validation, and when they send it offshore to you all the way out to India, things go wrong. The project failed initially the first time, horrifically. Had to be completely redone. So now we have people on the US helping us, and they're in my way, and it drives me absolutely nuts because I can't understand why it is like, yes, let's blow $300,000 on some contractors to do this, and not reward our own people in-house that can do this just fine, and can do a really, really good job, who can run circles around these contractors. In fact, are the ones who actually have to correct and fix all the crap the contractors are doing wrong, and understand this far better than they do. Oh boy, do I have some long rants on that subject. Now, it doesn't help that the person that was appointed the project manager of this project is very, very bad at their job. In fact, they don't have any business being the manager of a hot dog stand. Absolutely none. They don't understand the system. They don't understand the technicalities. They don't understand how this technical piece connects with this technical piece, how this program interfaces with this program and sends data and manipulates it. They have no idea how any of this works. And in fact, they're also one of those people that was appointed into the position because of seniority. And they basically can't do their own job very well anymore, so that was the only thing they could do was put them into management. Unfortunately, that often has disastrous consequences for a large number of people working with them. It causes all sorts of problems, especially when a person that has to write everything down in a notebook, and their notebook and lab book is an absolute disaster. They can't even understand what they've been doing. They have to go refer back to everything. They're confused. And honestly, I've wondered if this person has medical issues. I really have. I've been wondering for a while if they have early onset dementia or something like that going on, because it's bad. I mean, it's been hellishly bad. But somehow, we're going to limp this project over the finish line. And tomorrow, it's go live. And what does that mean for me? It means I'm probably going to get 2 hours of sleep over the next 3 or 4 days. I'm going to be miserable. And this is sort of the small calm before the immense storm when all heck breaks loose as we drag this project kicking and screaming to get it out the door. Because if we have to deal with this any longer, I'm going to go insane myself. So we're going to deal with the poor work of the contractors. I'm going to clean it up. We're going to deal with the ridiculous person who's the project manager getting in the way of everything and us giving them other tasks to do so they're out of our hair. But we're going to get this darn thing done. And then I can quit losing my mind on this thing and go back to focusing on more interesting things, more fun-filled things. In fact, like some of these things. Whoops, we'll flip that around. What is it? These are lithium batteries. Oh, yeah. I know lithium. Scary topic, right? But I've been playing with them, and I have a prototype DIY off-grid battery system I've been working on. And so I have boxes and boxes of these darn things. We're going to build some things and see if I can make a kit that people can build batteries for solar stuff that's very reliable and very serviceable. And when I say DIY, I mean this is sort of a kit. I mean, put things together, bolt things together, and all this other stuff. It's for the people that want to build things and get to really understand the technology sort of thing. Well, we'll learn about that in the future, too. See, we'll also get to mess with weird things. Bimetallic pin connectors to hook up electrical wires with. Ooh, yes, and we'll be using our 14-ton compressor to do it. Yes. And let's sow something else that's kind of mundane, but I actually enjoy. Corn harvest is coming in quite well. Let's take a look at some of it. This is Painted Mountain. This one's a neat looking one. I said, "Hey, Lee, would you like some cinnamon corn?" She was like, "What?" I showed her the ear. Reminds me of like hot tamales in color, or like little cinnamon candies. Yeah, cracks me up. This one's funny. Alright. Here's another Painted Mountain. This one's mostly yellow with little spots. It's a nice looking one. Let's see what else we got. More Painted Mountain. This one's really scattered in colors. Now it's a feed corn, right? So I got to dry it out, let it sit, get all hard and everything else. Then I can grind it. I can make masa. I can make cornmeal. I can do all sorts of things. We're going to make a bunch of things with them and take you along the way, and we're going to learn a lot. And it'll be a lot of fun for me because I'm always enjoying growing a bunch of stuff and then trying it out. Now let me show you the popcorn. This one's been entertaining this year. Look at this color on this one. I mean, that is really, really cool looking. It's really neat in person. I gotta admit, really pretty. And then we got like this. Now here's something funny. See this part sticking out? This is like the thing that shoots up at the top of the corn, right? Why is there a cob on this? Well, the funny thing about corn, okay, and this happens like especially if you are a little behind and short on time because you're dealing with an insane, crazy project at your office, and you get things planned a little differently. Well, if corn is coming up, and some of it came up earlier and some came up later, like this came up later, and it gets pollinated on this part that isn't fully out, it's like, oh, shoot, I'm behind. I got to reproduce. And they will actually turn this part into a corn cob and make corn on it. It really cracks me up. Corn's kind of amazing. Now, have a look at corn as one of those strange, oddball things that it was probably dropped here by an intelligent alien species. Dropped this on the planet and said, "Here, enjoy the wonderful bounty from our world." I'm like, "Oh, neat, corn." It's so weird. Corn just is so weird to me in so many ways. It's like, yeah, this came from another planet or something. Let me show you a few others of this popcorn. See, a bunch more colors and stuff. And let's, oh yeah, another nice, real good red one. And it's been growing pretty well here. I didn't plant a bunch of it here this year, but I got a fair number of cobs so far. Probably got like about 30 so, and I think I got another about 10 coming. We'll see. So I'll get a couple good bags out of it and stuff, and go see how the chickens like it, neighbors' chickens, and I'm building a little chicken coop, getting my own chicken set up and so on, and pretty nice. I'm happy with that. Got tomatoes, got to make a bunch of tomato sauce, can it and everything else. Sure like making my own tomato sauce. Once you learn how to figure that out, you're like, geez, what the heck is in this stuff at the store they're selling us? Ah, horrible tasting, horrible. Ah. I really enjoy making stuff my own. I tell you, your own tomato sauce, your own canned tomatoes, or canned tomatoes actually are just fine for making some outstanding sauces, even if they are commercially produced. But the stuff you do yourself, wow, it is something else. It is crazy good. I really enjoy that and stuff. Now, I'm going to be making a lot more videos, like I said, and finally going to have more time and stuff like that. But today, I don't really have a ton of huge topics, but I've got tons of topics on my mind. But when you're busy at work, I mean, you're absolutely, completely busy, where you're digging in all these complicated tech problems, thinking things through, finding solutions, finding last-minute creative solutions. You kind of go a little crazy, and you're like Tommy Lee Jones in The Siege, where he's like screaming and yelling, "I'm tired of being the guy to solve problems created by other people," and blah, 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 you know? And basically, you get home, and you're so mentally spent, yeah, you just don't want to do anything. You're like, I'm going to go garden, I'm going to go recharge in that, going to mess with that thing, and all the other stuff I want to talk about, all the important thinking topics, they're going to wait. So, it's been a little while. I know. Sorry about that. But I figured, let's add something to this video, give you guys something meat, instead of just talking about some stuff and not do anything. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, some facts you might find real strange to learn about. Crazy Doc Reed, right? So here's one for you. I didn't learn to read until the 4th grade. Late 4th grade, almost 5th grade. In fact, they wanted to hold me back. Yes, I have a severe learning disability. I mean, it's one heck of an interesting learning disability. They did all sorts of specialized tests and everything like that. Why can't this kid figure out how to learn to read? And in fact, I didn't entirely learn to read in the 4th and 5th grade. Basically, I cheated. And what does that mean? Well, I have a really good memory. Outstandingly good memory. When I put my mind to it, I can memorize a ridiculous amount of information and hang on to it very effectively. Just something very good about me. And I think it kind of stems from this. I was so angry at the idea of being held back in school and stuff that what I ended up doing was I got my parents to read to me a lot, right? Let's go over and read the books. Even I drove my mom absolutely insane all the time because I was saying, read this to me. What I was actually doing was getting her to read the books to me in class that we were going to use in class, and I would memorize them. I would memorize the pictures. I would memorize everything about them. So when I was called upon to read in class, I could fake my way through it. I also had a real hard time figuring out left and right hand differences. Like when they said, put your paper to the left or the right, I got that wrong all the time. Took a long time for them to figure it out. Basically, I have a total and complete disconnect between what is visual and auditory. I mean, they are completely different. So I could never spell words. I couldn't sound them out, no matter how much yelling and screaming was done at me from my parents or the beatings or everything else. Nothing worked, right? It just wasn't getting there. And effectively, what actually ended up getting there was memorizing lots and lots of things. And basically what it is that I ended up learning 2 languages. See, the odd thing to me is it turns out, I didn't even know this was the thing, I am an extremely visual thinker. What I see, how I imagine things, and what I do in my mind is very, very visual based. Very little thinking in like a monologue or words, just isn't really there, okay? So the auditory part, though, what I hear and all that, it's sort of compartmentalized and different. So even though I learned language and was able to understand talk and all that, what I saw on paper, I had like a complete and total disconnect to realize it was the language I speak. It took an immense amount of work, and it actually involved me getting a recycled computer out of, I think it was like a Goodwill or something like that, and using it constantly. And then that helped me learn a lot more vocabulary. And basically what it was is I memorized complete words. Yep, complete words. So when I get a new word, I need someone to actually sound that out. But I can like use it, write it, memorize it, and spell it later and stuff like that. But I can't speak it. Or if you tell me what a word is and I hear it, I can't write it. Explain that one. It's bizarre, right? And I remember they wanted to hold me back, put me in all these specialized classes, but I was just too stubborn to accept it. And so I found my own path forward. And a lot of places in my life, it's been that way. I find my own way forward, own way through things. So, I have this interesting oddball learning disability. Visually, what I see written on paper and stuff like that, totally disconnect from the speech and everything else and what I hear. They just don't mesh. They're just not there. Now, there is an oddball advantage to this. One that drives Lee absolutely nuts and off the wall. But it has served me well in my life. I've discovered I can multitask in a weird way. I can watch TV shows, YouTube, videos and all that, and listen to the people talking and get the information. And I can read on my computer, researching other things and looking and going what's going on there and get information. I can double up on the time I spend gathering information and learning about things. It's cool. Of course, there are limitations. Like if I have to start thinking about things, like if we're talking, physics and equations, stuff like that, and I'm starting to think about how this kind of plugs together and all this stuff, the multitasking shuts down. It has to be stuff that kind of goes in, doesn't require a lot of processing, can be memorized and then put to use later. Works well. But if I have to start thinking about it and start imagining, okay, how does this system work and all this other stuff, and putting it together in my head, comes apart. Now, another oddball thing about that is when I get information, get things together all in my head, and I've got it all figured out in my head, and they say, hey, Reed, write a book explaining this or write this down. Oh boy, we got a problem. Taking how I understand it and how it's in my head and putting that into words, whoa, that takes some serious effort. It's gotten easier over the years because I've developed a lot of patterns, basically, of doing that, transforming how I visually see things in my own head, how I visually understand things into language. But I tell you, when they'd always say, hey, you need to do a write-up on this, and it's just like, or they say, hey, Reed, explain this to another person. Difficult to say the least. I mean, hugely difficult. I know some of you people, which has been really nice, saying, hey, I love how you present things, love how you talk about this stuff and all that. Well, that's really nice to hear, but I ain't the expert. I tell you, it takes a lot of effort figuring out how to pull what's out of my head and make a video about it, talk about it, stuff like that. It's gotten easier. I have a lot of experience from decades of doing this now, but it's been immensely difficult and hard, I tell you. Ooh, boy. So, there you go. You know, if you're wondering something about Reed, you can say, hey, he's got a crazy learning disability, but somehow he made it through life. Although, certain things I understand innately quite well. Explaining how I understand them, difficult topic and stuff. A lot of mechanical engineering, yeah, that makes sense. A lot of electrical engineering, makes sense. A lot of computer programming, makes a lot of sense. All that sort of stuff. Now Reed, explain to someone. Ooh, that's going to be a problem. So there's something oddball for you, right? So I hope this was a little interesting for you. You got to learn something about me, got to discover something. And if any of you guys have interesting learning disabilities or have had odd things you've had to cope with in life, tell me about them. Love to hear about them. Tell me about how you cope with it, how you manage to deal with it and stuff. I'm always interested in knowing that. Because it's interesting, I've discovered, is a lot of people who've overcome major adversity in life, they're resourceful. Very resourceful people. And I think a lot of people in the prepping community are those kind of people. And resourceful people, I sure enjoy hanging around with and talking. Well, have a great day, everyone. You'll see a lot more of me, especially after we get through the next 3 or 4 days. Then I can finally get back, put the mental energy into this and say, all right, let's get back to making videos. Let's showcase stuff. Let's build things. Boy, do I got a lot of stuff to build and show everyone about. Anyways, let's finally close this out. Take care. Have a great day, everyone. Or, in this case, it's 3 in the morning here. Great night. And this is Reed, out for now.